So, I think I better start, and perhaps my introductory words are not so interesting anyway, so we want to listen to the speakers. But let me just say one word to this session, Venture Capital Ecosystems for Startups. When you go around Europe, you always hear the words we have heard many times today, valley of death. We say in Europe, yes, we are quite good in doing research, we are quite good in knowledge creation, but we are not so good in making it really happen in an industrial reality. So the innovation part is missing. We are not good enough in bringing what all our good researchers are doing into the industrial reality. And our American friends are doing so much better. They have a lot of venture capital. They make it happen. They are more pragmatic than we in Europe. And so we talk even about a European paradox, which means we are doing excellent research, but we are not bringing it to the market. Then you go to the United States and say, we want to learn from you because you have apparently such a fantastic system. And then my American friends tell me, oh, no, 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 we also know the valley of death. It is not so easy to bring the research results into the industry. We also have exactly the same problem, and we even hear that in Europe you have good elements where we could learn from and where we would be able to learn from European experiences. So it's quite reassuring that it's a common problem and that we have to attack it in a not necessarily a common way, but we have to learn from each other. And that brings me to Professor Charles Wessner, who in the last session this morning, I think he described a little bit what we should do this afternoon. He said, okay, don't complain in Europe that you don't have enough money for venture capital. Don't complain in the US that you have some other things don't exist. Look on the positive things, on the SBIR scheme, which is being brought up in the United States. Look in how we do it best. I think that is probably the right way of doing, and this is why we have here an excellent group of speakers this afternoon who can bring the experience from different parts of the world and can exchange best practice among ourselves, and then we have to learn from each other. One additional element I would like to bring, because Professor Wessner was also mentioning this at several occasions. He said, don't underestimate the role of the public authorities. And having worked for a public authority, this is something which I like, of course, to hear. And we, of course, also from the European perspective, we do have a number of things. We call it risk-sharing financial facility for guarantee systems. We call it not SBIR, but SBIR type of system. We also try to bridge this gap to the valley of death. And so if you have, I think it was not in your initial job description, but if you have some advice to the politics side, I think we are very interested to hear from you. Not only the things which are good, if you say the good things also, most welcome, we are not, don't be shy, but if you have some criticism or some suggestions to make, I think this is also very interesting for us, because for us it's also a learning process. I think we are trying to bring best practice into our programs, but sometimes it's also a trial and error process, and it should not be. So I think we would also like to learn today from you what are your good experiences, best practices, what works, what does not work, what are the boundary conditions we are needing in order to make it really happen, because that is a common interest of everybody in this room and beyond. That brings me now to the introduction of the first one of our four speakers. So it's Bill Mahoney from the United States. He graduated in Harvard, and then he moved south. So today he is CEO of the South Carolina Research Authority. And this is a very successful organization, and I think under his leadership many different initiatives were developed. Among those initiatives also one which is dealing with the help to bring startups into existence, but not, if I understood it correctly, not only just to say now you exist and now I throw you into the water and you swim, but you also have some follow-up activities. You give them some advice during their life. You help them to survive and to bring them into a real successful existence. And I think this is something which is very important, because sometimes politics, they have very good ideas and then they say, oh, we make a system, we make a scheme, and this scheme should help SMEs, for example, to start up something. And then the money is there and it's forgotten. And that's perhaps not the right way of doing it. Perhaps one has to take them by the hand and to take them one step after the other in order to be really successful and to make it happen. So we are very interested, Bill, what you will tell us. The floor is yours.